that was doing everything. He was scoring. He was setting up his teammates. And he got the Nuggets the double overtime victory despite a Herculean, otherworldly effort from Dame Lillard. Jalen, what do you think about Dame's 55 points and 12 threes?
Of course we're going to acknowledge our king, Jokic, but Dame Lillard, NBA Jam style, was on fire. The only player in the history of the NBA in a playoff game to have over 50, get 10 dimes, and make at least 10 threes. Doing it off the dribble, doing it off the catch, doing it in the clutch, doing it off the glass. Dame Lillard was on fire like MOP. The problem was he didn't get enough help.
No.
And Jacoby, I was born in the early 70s, and watching great players go off like this in the playoffs and lose the game, it was kind of reminiscent of something that I watched when I was little. Michael Jeffrey Air Jordan playing against the Boston Celtics. Between the legs, doing that to my guy Larry. You know I hated seeing that happen to Larry Joe, my guy. But sometimes I dream that he is me. And this is when Michael Jordan started to become, as we now consider, a GOAT. And great players do this in the playoffs, and sometimes they come up short. That's what we saw happen with Dame Dollar last night.
It really is, and usually Dame gets more help than he had last night, but if you put up that full screen again and you look at the numbers, the comparison between his solo production and his teammates, look at the field goal percentage, look at the three-point percentage. The rest of his team only had 5 more assists than he did, and it just felt like he needed a little more from CJ. Nurkic just seems to foul out against Jokic every time he's on the floor. However, this series is not over. It's only 3-2. They go to Portland for Game 6. This series is not over, and we're going to see more Dame, especially at home, as this series move on. What a performance from Dame Lillard last night. Like, I was just sitting on my couch in absolute awe of what this man does. And I was so glad that he was doing what he was doing on one channel, because on another channel, the Lakers were getting waxed by the Suns. Absolutely waxed from the opening tip. You see there's only 1 star for the Lakers, there's 3 for the Suns. That's what it felt like last night. Jalen, this was a wild result. They didn't just lose, they got waxed. What do you think that means for this series moving forward?
It means that a team coming from the 7th or 8th seed has never won an NBA championship, as I continue to tell you, because there's no room for error. And once Anthony Davis goes out, you need LeBron James to be Jason Tatum against the Nets. You need LeBron James to be Dame Lillard against the Nuggets. You don't need him passive offensively, getting turnovers earlier in the game, while Devin Booker was scoring 18 points in the first quarter, and the entire Laker team was scoring 10 points in the second quarter. Dennis Schroeder and KCP had 0 points combined in the game.
Wow.
LeBron made 6 threes, but you know what he needed to be doing? Attacking that painted area right there, playing with aggression. And you know what else I saw? Multiple possessions. When the Suns got a rebound, or when the Suns got a stop or a turnover, it was 4-on-3 going the other way. It was 5-on-4 going the other way. And LeBron was in the back court like Kareem when he turned 45 and he's playing with the Lakers. And it was showtime. It was like, if y'all go ahead and do the break, y'all do it. But other than that, we gonna wait for El Capitan to cross half court. Except LeBron was doing that on defense. And you saw Cameron Payne making plays. The Phoenix Suns playing confident. CP3 left in the third quarter, only had 9 points. Injuries are gonna determine what happens. If the Lakers get a healthy AD, I say they win Game 6 and they win Game 7. If he's hobbled in any way, shape, or form, the Phoenix Suns will advance.
Well, this series just got extremely interesting, and after the game, LeBron James went the tunnel early, but he still talked after the game. Let's listen to the King.
We got our ass kicked. I mean, it's just that simple. They got to whatever they wanted to get to in this game, and we got to be better, obviously, if we want to force a Game 7. So, I mean, they pretty much just kicked our ass. I mean, there's nothing else really to say.
Jalen, what do you think about the resigned LeBron James after Game 5?
I think by the end of the third quarter, there was no AD, no LeBron or CP3. And the Suns were waxing the Lakers. That's what you call surrendering. That's what happened. And again, whether AD plays or not, LeBron still got to go and be dominant. We need MVP level dominance from LeBron, Jacoby. This can't be like 25 points and 7 assists LeBron. This got to be 35 point, 10 assists, 10 rebound type of LeBron, or they're going to lose to the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. They are on the ropes, sir.
They really are. And I remember you saying that yesterday at this exact same time about what we need from LeBron. We obviously didn't get it. However, in his defense, it felt like he saw the scoreboard. He saw none of his teammates making shots, and he made a business decision. He's like, you know what? I'm a downshift into second gear and save my energy for when we're in the Staples Center in Game 5, and hopefully I will have AD back. That series is really interesting, and like the Blazers-Nuggets series, that one's not over. However, the Celtics-Nets series is all the way over. In Game 5 last night, the Nets got an easy win against the Celtics, but Jalen Rose, that's not the news today. The news today is what's happening with the Celtics front office and coaching position. Brad Stevens is moving into the front office. Danny Ainge looks to be moving on from the franchise. What do you think about this fallout from this season from this team?
I think the Celtics have had the most draft picks since 2015 in the NBA. Made the conference finals with the youngest team in the history of the league and wasn't able to expand on it. Watch the Raptors and the Heat both win the East. Watch the Nets become a super team led by initially a domino of Kyrie Irving, who was once a member of the Boston Celtics, said he was going to stay, lost him. He recruits KD basically, and now they add Harden. The Celtics lose Scary Terry. They lose Gordon Hayward. Now you start reaching for Fournier to try to get some scoring. But here's the ultimate couple of points I want to make. Danny Ainge lost so many cool points around the league, Jacoby, when a lot of his old interviews became unearthed recently, and he talked about dismissing what LeBron James and Steph Curry had to say off the floor. That rubbed a lot of people, in particular those in his locker room, the wrong way. You saw Jaylen Brown's interview. Well, we kind of need to talk about how this should play out. And then we saw the Kyrie Irving incident where the fan threw the bottle at him. And Danny Ainge leading up into that situation saying he hadn't heard of anything like that and happening in his years at Boston. Well, for all of us that have covered the league, played in the league, we know that that's a flat out lie. Just see Bill Russell. How about that? And so I think he couldn't survive the Celtics not performing to expectations on the floor, couldn't survive the dynamics of being a GM in the league that's 75% black. And then lastly, there will also be people questioning whether Brad should get the opportunity as a GM. 8 seasons, okay, playoffs 7 years, won 55% of his games, not outstanding, made the conference finals 3 times, didn't really get over the hump. I saw Tatum elevate. I saw Brown elevate. But the Celtics, once they fleeced the Nets in that deal, you couldn't have told the rest of the world that they weren't going to at least win the East. That didn't happen. So a lot of conversations behind these moves are going to be had, but I'm not surprised about the Ainge move at all.
Well, Jalen, one thing that you didn't mention, which is very important for this franchise and their trajectory under Ainge, is they hit on a couple draft picks, but they also missed on many more draft picks that they had over the years when you look at the players that they drafted that are no longer contributing to that team. Jalen, I'm done talking about the Boston Celtics because their season is over, and I'm so excited to watch the Nets move on to face what will be, in my opinion, the best second-round series. The Nets against the Bucks. Jalen, what are the keys to this powerhouse matchup?
Oh, it's easy. Giannis. That guy right there. Because who's going to get in his way? Who's going to slow him down? I like the young fella Claxton in the minutes that he's playing, but he ain't ready for Giannis just yet. And DeAndre Jordan, not only did he start making bank shots off of him last time, but he was bodying him and dunking on him. And Blake Griffin, you remember him dunking back-to-back times with his left hand? That's what Giannis about to be doing when he's guarding him in this series. So get ready for Giannis to be averaging 40, over 10 boards, and be extremely dominant for the Bucks.
Jalen, I'm so excited for this series. Mainly, I'm so excited because you have the Bucks winning and I have the Nets winning, and we're both so entrenched in our feelings about this. For me, it's simple. The best players are in the Brooklyn Nets uniform. I love Drew Holiday. I love Chris Middleton. I love Giannis, but they can't hold a candle to the big three of the Nets. And you know what? They're not going to be able to stop Giannis. They're not going to even be able to stop Drew Holiday or Lopez. But no one can stop Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden orchestrating it all. This is going to be a great series. I look forward to arguing about all of it with you over the next 2 weeks. But right now, we have a game tonight that we need to discuss. And that is the game